Hi, I'm Coach Grethe. I'm a certified emotion code, body code, and belief code practitioner. I'm here today to explain to you what the emotion code actually is. The emotion code is an energy healing modality made to find and release trapped negative emotions. The modality was created by Dr. Bradley Nelson, who is a chiropractor. He had this really successful chiropractic practice with happy clients who came in, got adjusted, and then came back. They were very, very happy. They left. They came back 2 weeks later, same adjustment. And this just kept going in a cycle. And it was a really great business model. But Dr. Nelson started wondering, why do they keep coming back? When I do the adjustments and they go out and they're corrected and they're happy, why do they keep coming back? There must be an underlying reason for these imbalances to occur in the body. So what he discovered then was related to emotions, and it was the emotion code. So what happens when you experience an emotion that's difficult, that is painful, that you might not have like the capacity to be within the moment? Let's say you feel like crying, but you're actually in a meeting at work, so you kind of push that down. Is the energy of that emotion gets stuck somewhere in the body. And what happens biochemically is when you experience something, your senses give information to your nervous system. That information is processed through the beliefs in your subconscious mind. And then that determines your emotional reaction, or it determines what molecules your brain will decide to send out to the body through the blood. And then these molecules will find attachment sites in the body. They will attach to your cells, and that is what's creating the sensation, the feeling. And the sum of these feelings is what we interpret as an emotion. So what you feel is actually how your body communicates to you what you think about what's happening to you, what you think about your reality. And when you don't give space and time to this feeling, these molecules get stuck. And because on a quantum level, everything is energy. So it's energy, that molecules are energy, they get stuck. So this trapped emotional energy is what we call trapped emotions. So with the emotion code, we can use muscle testing or kinesiology to communicate with the subconscious mind to find these trapped emotions. So the way it's done is, let's say I have some kind of problem. Maybe I have an ache or pain in the body. Maybe I have an illness. Maybe I'm struggling with a relationship with someone. Maybe I'm nervous about something. Maybe I feel a certain way. Whatever it is, that's where we start. So then I will ask, do I have a trapped emotion that's related to this? Do I have a trapped emotion that's contributing to this? And then I use the trapped emotions chart. And I ask, is the trapped emotion in column A or column B? And whichever column, I then figure out which row and then what emotion. So then when we know the emotion, what happens in the energy body then is that the energy of the emotion kind of comes to the surface. And with that, very often an idea of a person or a situation or something that happened comes to mind. Then my next question to the subconscious mind is, do we need more information about this emotion? If the answer is yes, then I ask the person, what comes to mind? And if they don't know, if they can't really, figure it out, then I will help them by figuring out, for instance, what age did this happen, or where in the body is it trapped. So then we find the information that the mind needs to be willing to release. And when we don't need any more information, and sometimes we actually don't need any information. And I see that especially after having done the emotion code for a while, the conscious mind kind of relaxes and trusts the process more, so we don't need that much. So then when we know as much as we need to know, so let's say it's an emotion of shame, and I know that it's because I made a fool out of myself in 3rd grade, or someone was bullying me or something like that, then we're ready to release the emotion. And in order to do that, we're going to use intention and we're going to take advantage of the acupuncture meridian system. So we have all these energetic meridians in our bodies, and they're all connected to the main meridian. And we use that to our advantage, knowing that this negative energy is touching at least one of the meridians. And since they're all connected to the main meridian, we're going to set the intention to release this emotional energy, and we're going to swipe 3 times along the main meridian. And that can be done swiping overhead. If I'm doing it on myself, I can swipe across my chest, I can swipe across my hand, and if I'm with the person, I will swipe along their spine. So swiping 3 times, and then asking the question, was this emotion released? And then muscle testing. And my muscle test is this. This is my yes, and this is my no. So was the emotion released? I muscle test. If I get a yes, we can continue to see if there's another emotion. And I will continue until there aren't any more emotions related to this issue that can be released in this moment. And what often happens is that, let's say there is ache or pain, it can actually disappear, which I'm always so surprised. And one of my favorite stories is actually, I had a client who I was working with intensively for a couple of weeks, and we were at the end of a session, and we had like 15 minutes to go. And I said, okay, we have 15 more minutes. Let's work on something easy. Okay, so she said, well, I have this pain in the right shoulder, and it's been there for a couple months since I had an accident at the gym. So she did something at the gym that caused this pain in the shoulder, and she'd had it ever since. And I said, okay. And I asked her, how bad is it? You know, what have you tried? And she had seen a doctor, and it hadn't gone away. So then we start releasing emotions. What are the emotions contributing to this? And we release them. And we did this for probably 10 minutes. And at the end, there were no more emotions to release. So we stopped. And then we finished our session. And then she started moving her shoulder, and she said, Grethe, it's gone. It's gone. It doesn't hurt anymore. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you kidding? She's like, no, it's completely fine. And then I talked to her the next morning, was still fine. 2 weeks after, her shoulder was still fine. And I'm a big skeptic. So I'm always amazed, and I've learned to trust the process, and I've learned to trust these results. And I find it amazing that something so simple can be so effective. And as far as I know, you can use the emotion code for anything. So you can get so far with the emotion code. It's practically the only energy healing modality you need. And maybe if you need something else from time to time, you can go and get a session. But just doing the emotion code will actually take you really far. And now you can actually learn it really easy by doing the Immersion Path course from Discover Healing. I'll put a link to that in the description. And I think it's like 3-hour course that's going to teach you how to muscle test, teach you the basics of the emotion code, and the goal of the course is to actually enable you to do the emotion code for yourself. So that's quite fabulous. And if you use my link before August 31st, you actually get a free belief code session with me as a bonus if you use my link. If you want to go deeper, there's a whole book called The Emotion Code. That's also great. And if you want to get certified, there is a certification that you can do with Discover Healing. And I'll put that link again in the description. And again, you use my link, you get a free belief code session, meaning you get a free 45-minute session where we do belief code if that's going to benefit you the most. And if it's something else, we do something else. I hope this answered the question for you, what is the emotion code? If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to answer them for you. I will also make a video about the heart wall, so check that out. It's going to be out soon as well. And if you like this content, if you want more of it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.